Welcome everyone back to Pommy and Oz. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really helps the channel out. I can't thank you enough for all the support this year. And we're here to do a review of Carlton's 4-point win versus Melbourne Demons. And it was a hot game. Pressure being the ultimate thing. 200 pressure rating above for all four quarters for both sides. 1,734 tackles, the most of any game this year, and it was a hot footy. And both sides, as we said, similar game styles, similar methodology, coming out and playing their brand, and ultimately Carlton's brand stacking up at the end better than Melbourne in a flip of last year's game, really. And this is two sides that really do traditionally match up well, and both have found that happy medium. And this game could have gone either way. In my opinion, from start to finish, Carlton were the better football side. I thought we handled the pressure better. And the switches in-game were spectacular. We saw Newman and Cincotta switch at times on their men, did very well. We saw it in the forward half. Fug, he went to Bowie at times to try and change that up. The tackles inside 50, they really do stand out. 21 from Carlton, and that is the big methodology this week that helped them but also hindered them. This real deep forward press, forcing Melbourne to go along. And to Melbourne's credit, they took that dangerous kick on, and it worked. We talked about this last week against St Kilda. It's a very aggressive forward press, but 21 tackles inside 50, again showcasing it that Carlton are willing to play their game style, even if it backfires on them. And that is a huge improvement in the side. It shouldn't be understated. Perhaps the big one, and we'll talk about him a bit later on in the show, was Tom de Koning. Him switching from Pitternet to Max Gawn. Max Gawn having the worst ratings this year as a ruckman for himself, because Gawn was battering Pitternet around the ground. Once TDK went there, it evened it up. And that's what I keep saying about TDK. It's not so much winning the hit-outs for him. It's winning one of them battles. Either winning the hit-out battle or winning the one around the ground. And that will ultimately help the Blues out long-term. Let's look at the intricacies, made that word up, I think, of the game. 1.57 kick-to-handball ratio. Again, we found the happy medium. We were lower last week. We were higher the week before. We were lower that week. You can see that this is probably the happy medium. This is what we saw this week, is probably how Voss wants to play as a plug-and-play method, that we are kicking occasionally in the right areas, but we are looking for that run and stun, which was really successful, particularly around stoppages, particularly around clearances. And we got two people we want to talk about in this game. 87 tackles, absolutely mammoth. That, absolutely mammoth. A huge contested battle, this, and it was one that was very exciting. 21 tackles inside 50, absolutely phenomenal work from the boys. And defense starts in your forward half. It's something that I have been a big advocate of for a long time, and you guys watching me, but Cripps, Dow, Fogarty, 3 tackles inside 50, Ed Kerner, Martin, Akers, Pitternet, Motlop, 2, Owies and Cotters, 1. That is just absolute outrageous figures. And again, a lot of midfielders in that, because what we're talking about, that high press, that second wall now is inside 50, really hemming the opposition in, asking them to kick long. We take the corridor away. We ask you to spread. We ask you to take the dangerous kick. We put TDK, we put Wheater in, and we put Kemp and Marchbank on either flanks, and we say, do you want to take it on? And ultimately, it's a great method, and it requires a lot of commitment, because if them tackles out there, it's easy outs. It's easy outs, and that pressure is really telling. This is phenomenal. 83.3 rebound 50 rate. So what that means is 83.3% of inside 50s were ultimately turned back over for us. That's huge. That's huge. If you're doing them numbers, you win every game. You win every game. Simple as. 18.9 marks inside 50 rate. Way down from where we expect, to be honest. It wasn't really a marking day. all the players really struggled with this. Could be conditions in there. It also is the fact that for this week, we really did see May take the piss a little bit with how he held. Him and Lever really did a number on Charlie, and there was a lot of pushing and a lot of holding. Charlie doesn't really play for them. A little bit disappointing from a Carlton fan, really, that I felt there was a few frees there to be paid, but all in all, it is what it is. -8 contested possession differential. It's a tough one, isn't it, this one, when you look at this, because 148 to 156, this is Carlton's bread and butter, but this is a testament to how much pressure both sides put on, and Carlton's ability to find that uncontested ball, take the switch on, is really what won them the game. And that's something that Melbourne got really into. Melbourne got really into that contested work, and Carlton played them at their own game and made them go overzealous. And that's a real strength of these Blues, that Melbourne are a fair shot. Melbourne and Carlton, arguably in this game, the two form teams. And Carlton's ability there to take that contested possession and then get it out to an uncontested. And the uncontested possessions are insane. Carlton have a huge swing. 218 plays 185, which, quick maths, 33. 33 difference. That's a huge amount in such a contested game. 2 clearances, which is a huge dub. When you're playing against Gawn, who is the best, with Grundy rotating, Carlton would have lapped that up. This is a big one here. 60% of scoring shots were converted. That's huge for Carlton. 24.5% of their inside 50s became a chance at a goal. And again, fine margins, plus 8-2. Again, we said it was a real tight game in the preview, according to TPI. TPI again saying what we said. Couple of points is a couple of percent swing. TPI predicted a small, I think it was a 5-point win to Melbourne. Carlton go up 10%. They win the game. See how fine margins it is. It's really an interesting stat that. I'm really proud of that one, just quietly. But fantastic work. And that fourth quarter from the Blues was absolutely sensational. Dow getting his head over the ball. You had the touch behind from Marchbank. It was definitely touched. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a cruel way to lose it, right? But then again, I would say this to Melbourne fans, with all due respect, it was a cruel way for Carlton to lose last year. Do you know what I mean? It was cruel that there was that deliberate throw from Petrarca running inside 50 that set you up a goal. These things even themselves out through a game. I thought the umpiring was atrocious on both sides, particularly for throws. I'd love please explain, going full Pauline Hanson here, but it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. The AFL aren't going to. But ultimately, I don't think many Melbourne fans, after the dust settles, like I was with Carlton versus Melbourne last year, we were the better side. Do you know what I mean? We were the better side throughout that game. And fair play, we'll meet again in finals, no doubt. Let's pick on some players, because these boys, I tell you what, I wish I could do 35. I wish I could do, I'd just do the whole fucking list. A lot of them. But Nicky Newman, he is in a vein at the moment of form. And long may it continue. 33 disposals, 4 tackles, 6 defensive half pressure acts, 11 intercept possessions. We talked about that deep forward press. Marchbank and Newman often were the surplus here. And Newman was a real danger when we got them to kick wide. He is quite often there. The ground ball gets a elite. We're talking this guy here can't be beat on the deck. 2 score launches, 15.8 meters gained, 69.7 disposal efficiency. A little bit, maybe, probably AFL average, to be fair, for his position. What isn't taken note here is the danger factor of his kicks, right? He's taking the game on in a real dangerous area. And again, he excelled at it. His injection from the back half to the forward half shouldn't be understated. Probably Carlton's most important player in these 8-game runs. And it's interesting that this is the first time Carlton have won 8 games since 2000. So Nick Newman is in that catalogue now of supreme players. The 4 score involvements, the 33.3 contested possession rate. His ability to find freedom is so important. And what Nick Newman does really well is when the ball is run from the back half, and we talked about that high 80s rebound 50 rate, He's a big advocate of this because he gets himself free. He breaks away from that contest quicker than most. Him and Saad are exceptionally doing at that. And thank God Doc's a midfielder, because you would be having a real tough conversation about your halfback flanks. You would be if he didn't go in the midfield, because Doc would be struggling here to get full game time, because these guys are playing 90% at halfback flank. He'd have to redevelop his game as a back pocket. So this has been a happy medium, really, with these midfield injuries, that Doc is a bona fide midfielder himself now. And Newman has taken that role with a plum, allowing Doc to be sensational when he's 150th. And he was fantastic. His partner in crime, and these two are becoming Tweedledum and Tweedledee. 25 disposals, 5 tackles, 9 defensive half pressure acts, 7 intercept marks, 6 ground ball gets. Really interesting with these ground ball gets is how he can get that ball from the deck into a moving pattern very quickly. He likes the ball at pace. This game suits Saad. When the pressure cooker is on and there isn't much space to work with, Saad finds space in a crowded elevator. He was fantastic this week. Absolutely fantastic. He probably won't get the plaudits he deserves, but his ability was fantastic. The 17.9 meters gained. Again, lower meters gained, but hitting targets at 84%. He's really getting it there. That 18 is quite a lot for where he is, and that is impressive. Getting the chains moving, getting it out of the final third and into the guts is so integral. And his ability to hit that corridor kick shouldn't be understated. And he's looking for that give and go and always keeping Carlton moving. That's where Carlton struggle at times. It happened in patches in this game where they started to get slow and arboreous in the back line. Nick Newman and Saad, they don't allow that to happen for too long. And that is a huge, huge asset. The 2 score involvements, and again, testament to his ability to get free. 28.6 of them were contested. Very, very strong. Love talking about my boy, Alex Pomcotter. Do you know what I mean? We have him here because we love him, and there he is, Pomcotter. This game was understated. Understated. At times, he towed up, whether it was Pickett, who was coming into that forward line, whether it was Petrarca, he had moments on him. James Jordan went deep. He absolutely battered him, got him off. Neil Bullen. He went through pillar to post, and everyone he played, he beat. Right? He beat. 4 tackles and 4 big ones, 10 defensive pressure acts, the 6 intercept possessions, 100% win rate on the deck, 4 ground ball gets, 15 meters gained, 81.8% efficiency, 2 score involvements. And again, look at this. These are real high numbers for a back pocket, 50% contested possession. He was under the cosh. And to bring them numbers, these are the areas here that Carlton maximise their back pockets. We put pressure on them. We force them to spill possession. Not with Pomcotter. Pomcotter's built different. Built different is this boy. And again, hitting the targets, keeping the chains moving, retaining possession under duress, being tough when he had to, winning his one-on-ones, winning everything he needed to, was absolutely a fantastic game from Pomcotter, and it probably won't get noted. But again, against one of the more dangerous small forward lines in the comp, he absolutely came out smelling of roses. Tom de Koning, his switch on Gorn, showing his development this year and showing why Carlton acted to re-sign him. 45 ruck contests, 33.3 of them won, 6.7 to advantage. A little bit stiff this, and this is why I want to talk about hit outs to advantage, that it's not necessarily so important when you have a midfield like Carlton do, right? It's probably more important if you've got a weak midfield and you want first use. But the big thing here is being able to have a good midfield contingent around him. And these are the numbers here that just scare me, to be honest. Scare me when you look at this. 10 ground ball gets. It's insane for a ruckman to be able to work below his feet. And the one thing that's lacking from him is them marks, right? It definitely is them marks. And he battered Max Gawn around the ground. Max Gawn only had 4 wins on the deck against him. Look at that. That's a huge, huge win. Huge win. His ability to negate Gawn around the ground is phenomenal. And the marks, like we say, if he can start pinging some marks, he gets his sticky mitts going. this kid could be fucking tear games open. 4 clearances from him. No score launches. Bit disappointing after last week, but he had more of a negating role. He almost played a ruck tagger around the ground, which you watch him in the ruck contest, particularly in the second half. He's looking to see where Gorn's going, and he's really negating him, stopping him get to the ball and winning the ball himself. Huge involvements there, score involvements, and 1 intercept possession. Real solid game. And this game is understated. Like, the level of difficulty to play Max Gawn should not be. He's the best ruckman in the planet by a long way. Great game. Captain Cripps. I keep saying it. These games turn me on more than the Brisbane, right? Won the free kick, got the goal in the third. What more can you ask? 10 contested possessions, 9 tackles. He set the standard again. Set the standard. Bit of a tiff with Petrarca again. Didn't get involved. Don't want it. You know what I mean? Don't want to do this. I'll beat you on the deck. And that's what he did. 1 score launch, 1 rebound 50, 3 inside 50s. Interesting how hard he works both ways, right? Them tackles inside 50, we talked about 3 of them. Some good tackles in the D half as well. Cripps was everywhere around stoppage. And really, he'd done his homework after last year where they beat us. Real important. And then forward 50 turnovers, 21 points. Cripps was a big advocate of changing that round, right? That took a while to get going, that turnover game. Cripps was the one who really upped the ante when the game was to be won in the third quarter. And in my opinion, won us the game with his third quarter and his efforts. 5 clearances, 8.9 metres gained. And this is why, when we talk about Cripps and Hewitt, why they're so important. Dow's game was impressive in that second half. And that's partly because of Hewitt and Cripps. They're not looking anymore to boom the ball away. They're looking to give it to their teammates. They're looking to take that contact. They take 2 men off you, so you're free. Bang, handball. Bang, handball. Key cornerstone of Voss's game. Sensational. 21 pressure acts from the boy. The boy's a freak. Let's be honest. This guy here, he's showing it. He's showing it. And their midfield had, let's have a look at it here. Do you know what I mean? You had Viney and Oliver had 82 pressure acts between them. They were under duress. Cripper, sensational. 7 ground ball gets, 7 score involvements. The captain doing a captain's game, and this is prime Captain Cripps now. This is the best Cripps you've ever seen. Telling you now, this is the best Cripps you've ever seen because this Cripps makes everyone 10% better. What a game from our captain. Hopefully that's 10 coaches' votes. It probably won't be. Probably be this lad here. But 10 and 8 should be them too because they worked hard. What a performance from Georgie. If you remember early season content, don't worry about George. He'll be best towards the end of the year. He's back, baby. 23 contested possessions, filth under that much duress. Viney and Oliver are probably 2 of the best 5 players in the league. With these guys at doing that hard yakka, he was sensational. 6 tackles, 1 score launch, 2 rebound 50s, 4 inside 50s. Again, showing you how hard these guys work, how hard these guys are bringing it in. 8 clearances, 7.8 metres gained. Again, looking to give the ball away, looking to take the contest in the clutches. I've got Viney on me. I've got Oliver. Bang, that means you've got someone shed. Right? Brilliant. Brilliant from Georgie. 29 pressure acts. Fearsome. Look at the ground ball gets. When this ball hit the deck, the ground was George's. George owns that ground. George of the ground ball gets. Watch out for that bump. Should be his song. What an effort. 3 score involvements from him. A stellar game and probably easily best on for mine. Easily best on for mine. We finish with Brodie Kemp. Probably harsh because Marchbank, he had an okay game. The spoil on the line makes it a sensational game. But again, Brodie Kemp going from strength to strength. Going from strength to strength. 8 marks, 3 intercept marks. He was at his best this week. And I didn't miss McGovern. Kemp is more than worthy of taking that spot. Contested marks, 100%. One-on-ones. 100%. Wasn't beaten. Had to go big this week, and he did. 10 intercept possessions, phenomenal. 10 spoils when you've got the winning capabilities of Nick Newman, Chincotta, and Sard. He brought it to ground when he needed to as well. And they were very good spoils as well. Paddled it down. They were controlled. They weren't panicked. Very, very strong from Brodie Kemp. 11.8 metres gained again, 83.3% kicking efficiency. The backline was sensational at hitting targets and moving chains, and that's such a key cornerstone of Voss's system. And they were the right kicks, and they were always going forward, and they were always going to outlets. Supreme game from Brodie. 4 rebound 50s and 3 score involvements. Absolute beast. And Brodie Kemp, literally, he is having a moment at the moment, and a moment really savour, because his development this year has been sensational, and a big part of us in finals will be Brodie Kemp. Loved what Voss said at the end of the game. And chat, I implore you, our work isn't done here. Our work is only just beginning. Big 2 games to finish with this season, then into finals, and then go deep. But the boys are looking mighty good. 8 in a row. Nothing says to me that it can't be 10 in a row by the end of the regular season. The boys are flying. Thank you so much for your support. Cheer hard. And you know what? Embrace every minute, because we've been low before. I love you all. Much love. Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.